there's where we are. Look at that. 16,988. So we're going to go over today. So yeah, my 17,000 mile ride. And in case you're wondering, this is my second bike I've got to over 14,000 and haven't greased the gear. So all this greasing the gears every 1,000 miles is a bunch of bull. Yeah, someone said on the internet, you know, and once someone says it on the internet, then everyone just repeats it over and over. And you need to grease your hubs every 1,000 miles. And you know, that means I would have greased these 17 times already. That's just insanity. I'd say just ride it until you hear noises and then do something about it. That's my plan. So if you want to see how long I can go on this bike, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see how far we can get this bike. Well, I had to fix my driveway yesterday because all the rain we got wiped it out. I hope I make it up this hill in this low gear. There we go. But yeah, I had to fix it because it's getting pretty bad. All wiped out, so it's kind of loose right now. But we'll drive over it a while and it'll be nice. And look at my ponds are filled back up again. Well, good thing I went up a little bit on this one. I wouldn't have made it. But the stick hopped up on my foot. It scared me. Felt something on my foot. I don't know if I'll leave that in there, but anyway. It's getting kind of cool out here. But this 17,000 mile ride, this is going to be sweet. Get out here, and I already blew past my 15,000 mile goal, and now we're working on 20,000, I think. I think I'll make it by a year. I'll admit I'm not riding as hard as I was because once I made the 15 and it started getting cool, it takes a little bit more for me to get out here. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy riding, but that riding 2 times a day, that gets to wear on you after a while, especially the seat of your pants, boy. Yeah, it's kind of windy out here today. It's not too bad going back with the wind. It feels nice, but going the other way, it's kind of hard to record. And in case you're wondering, this is my second bike I've got to over 14,000 and haven't greased the gear. So all this greasing the gears every 1,000 miles is a bunch of bull. This one I got over 17,000, and when I changed the tire, I didn't grease. I'm going to use this as a case study. I think a lot of times people, the noise they hear is not the gears themselves, but the bearing that's in between them, and that's what's causing them to hear that noise. Well, I come back home because I passed an Amazon driver, and we just recently switched over to Amazon driver delivery, and they got a pin dropped in between our 2 houses here in the woods. And so they get them mixed up all the time. They try to deliver her packages here and try to deliver mine to her. And so I wanted to make sure that they weren't down here. I don't see nobody. I got it up here in the woods. One of the drivers tried to fix it. Oh, man. One of the drivers tried to fix it, but he couldn't get it to change. You know, you as the homeowner, you ought to be able to move the pin to where you want the stuff, you know, delivered. I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. But it doesn't look like he come down here today, so. At least not that I can see anyway. He might be in the woods there, who knows. But I got to get out on the road and get my ride in here. Trying to get out before the school buses come. Anyways, like I was saying, I don't think you need to grease the motors like some are saying. I think the average e-bike rider should probably not ever have to grease their motor. I got over 14,000 on my H8 and I got over 17,000 on this, and both the girls have over 8,000 on theirs, and we still don't have no problem. So yeah, I think that goes along with what the guy at Grin Technology said. He said he's not convinced that you even need to ever grease the motors because those nylon gears, they hold up so well. I mean, and then you go introducing a different kind of grease, and it introduces, it introduces a whole new thing in there. It could cause them to be brittle or cause something to happen, you know. I'd say just ride it until you hear noises and then do something about it. That's my plan. So if you want to see how long I can go on this bike, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see how far we can get this bike. There's where we're at right now. I can't see it. It's 1734 or something like that. So we'll see how far we can get this. So far, I don't hear no noises back there. In fact, my front motor is more noisy than the back one. So I think that's because the front motor has to spin up to get it up to the same speed, and so it makes a noise when you do that. But yeah, someone said on the internet, you know, and once someone says it on the internet, then everyone just repeats it over and over. And you need to grease your hubs every 1,000 miles. And you know, that means I would have greased these 17 times already. That's just insanity. Don't go looking for a problem. Leave things alone. As long as you don't hear no weird noises or nothing, just leave it alone. Don't grease it. I think from the factory they say every 10,000 miles. So you at least got 10,000 miles before you even have to think about it. And I venture to say most people will never put 10,000 miles on their e-bike. My girls, they got 8,000, and I think this is their 4th year they've had them. And so, you know, they ride about 10 miles a day. So if you're just a casual rider, you'll probably not ever have to, you probably never have to grease your hub motors. One less thing to have to worry about. And I certainly would never take it apart and do it just for that reason. If I had the rear wheel off and it was making a noise or something, then I might take a look at it then, but I'm not going to take it apart just because I reached some arbitrary mile and grease it. You know, there's a lot of talk about what kind of grease you should use. You know, some say you should use the lithium, some say you should use the mobile one, and so I mean, there's no real consensus. So you end up putting the wrong kind in there, and you'll cause yourself a lot more problems than if you just leave things alone. So that's my plans going forward. I'm just going to leave it alone, and we'll see what happens. So far, so good. But I rode really hard over the summer. I was riding twice a day, and I'd get up early in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning, I'd go on my 75-mile ride, and then in the afternoon I'd ride 60 or 70. And you know, that's a lot of riding. A lot of riding. So my twice a day is over now. So I'm just doing it once a day, and I'm trying to pick the warmest part of the day because it's starting to get kind of cool. So I'm glad I got those miles all banked in. I don't have to worry about it. It's a really cold day, I can stay home. That's one thing I've always been I've always been pretty intense in whatever I do. I go all out. It's just my nature, I guess. I had a high school counselor that said I would never amount to anything. And so he put a curse on me. I spend the rest of my life trying to trying to prove them wrong. But my wife told me, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that Dad talked to him before he died and told them how proud he was of me, and that I had a bunch of real estate and all that kind of stuff, and so maybe he thought I was a success. Anyways, that's something, how things from your childhood can affect your whole life. So you fathers and you mothers out there, you need to be telling your kids positive stuff and instead of ragging on them all the time. Look for some good things that you can compliment them on. And the bad things will take care of themselves. You know, you have to take care of those, but you need to find the good things. And let your kids know you're proud of them if you are. You know, my dad, he had a hard time showing emotion, and so I never really knew. I'm talking about my natural dad. My wife's dad ended up being my adopted dad, and I have nothing but high praise, you know, for him. But my natural dad, he come from an era and a family that didn't show a lot of emotion, so I never really knew. But you know, maybe, I don't know where I'm going with this. Anywho, oh yeah, things of your childhood can affect your whole life, so yeah, pour some goodness in someone. And let them know you're proud of them. And on that vein, my son, if you watch this, hey, Dad's proud of you. And of course my daughter, she knows that I'm proud of her, so because I talk to her every day, but my son's all the way up in Alaska and I don't get to talk to him that much. Yeah, I'm still riding around with my little air compressor on the back there, just got in the habit of it, leaving it on there. And I also got a little one here, a little hand one. I ain't gonna be caught without one. That made me helpless that day. But you know, I'll probably never have another flat. You know, that flat out, I can't believe how well that worked. I had a hole in the tire for like 4,000 miles, and I took the inner tube out of the H8 because I had put too much in, and then I emptied half of it out. And I put it in here just in case, and good thing I did, because there was still something in the tire, and I rode for over 4,000 miles, and it kind of leaked out on my frame of my bike, but it still held the air the whole time. So that really gives me peace of mind. Yeah, I wonder if the longhorn's out today. No, looks like I got a couple horses out there. This is usually full of longhorn cows. Might have took them all to market for over the winter time, so they don't have to feed them over the winter. Yep, I don't see none. Oh, there's one up there. But yeah, it's getting a lot cooler out here now. I kept riding in the morning until it got so cool I couldn't handle it no more, and so then I moved to the afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock, I think, and you know, with the clocks set back, it starts getting dark around 4 o'clock, 4:30. It starts feeling like the day's gone. So I'm gonna try to be riding around 1 o'clock or so. Try to get the heat of the day when it's cold. Because I usually ride all year round. I know there's a lot of people who don't, but when it gets down to about 0, I'm looking for excuses. That's for sure. I usually try to, in the wintertime, I try to ride the weather. If it's 18 degrees, I try to ride 18 miles. If it's 30 degrees, I try to ride to 30 miles. So I guess that means when it's 0, I stay home, right? I don't go nowhere. And if it's below 0, I do negative miles that day. Yeah. Now the wind's, it's about 60 out here, I think, right now, but the wind's blowing and it feels a lot colder than what it is. But as you can see, we're losing the leaves off the trees. And it does feel pretty cool out here. I'm gonna have to put my pogies back on. I've actually had them on a few times already. But then it gets up to 85 and it's like I can't keep my pogies on when it's 85. So I take them off and then leave them off until I get too cold. Hey, they picked up the garbage cans. There was garbage can back there full of garbage. I guarantee you they were there for 2.5 or 3 years. Piled up over the top, just sitting there. You'd think that the company who owned the garbage cans would have come and emptied them and got their garbage cans, but it just sat there. The house was empty, so there was no reason to get rid of them, I guess. Stayed that whole time there. But I see they're gone now. Oh, we got some Amish up here. Yeah, we'll pass them here in a second. See if I can get you some video. Got to do it kind of incognito because they don't like to be filmed. Hard not to film them though, because you know. Yeah, when that sun begins to go behind the clouds and goes down, boy, it cools off fast. Turn this all-wheel drive off before it throws me off here. Sometimes I forget I have it on when I'm recording and it scares me. Anyways, the sun's going, it's still pretty high in the sky, but well, you can sure tell we're in the fall season because it gets cold fast. If he sees me in time, boy, he comes right out there and he comes after me. I didn't see him this time, so he scared me. Oh, looks like they're getting ready to put up a big old fence there. That's a big expense. Big expense putting up a fence. And I'm still working on this house. Starting to get it done though. Well, there's my sign. Proof to all those people who leave bad comments that I shouldn't be on this road. This is my bike route. Man, it's getting cold. I'm gonna head toward the house. There. Oh, I can't believe how cold it's getting really fast. Put my ear warmers on, and I have Bluetooth speakers in my ears, and it kind of pushes on my ears and hurts. I got the kind of like, hang over your ear so you can hear what's going on if it's not in the ear. So I can hear, I can hear cars and stuff really well, but I think I'm gonna get some cushion things. I seen on Amazon you can buy just the ear cushion things, and maybe I could rig something up so it won't be pushing on it. There's where we ended, 1765. And everything's looking good here. Let's take a look at the bike. That's my original chain on there, believe it or not. 17,000 miles because I use a really good lubricant. I'll try to remember to leave a link for all that down below so you can check it out if you want to. But there's my new tires. I have a new one on the back. Still got the Ultraverse on the front. Still got a lot of tread on the front one. I did buy me another battery because it felt like it was getting weak. Because of course I used that on my H8, and then I've used it on this for, 12, 15,000 miles. So yeah. And I still have the original brakes, believe it or not. Of course, I do mostly country riding, so it doesn't get much wear. I know the bike is dirty. I ride. I don't worry about what it looks like. Anytime I post a picture of my bike, I always get a comment, "You need to wash your bike." Washing your bike don't make it run any better, so it is what it is. Like I always say, if I want a clean bike, I'll buy a new one. I tell my wife, my bike's getting dirty, I need to buy a new one. Nope, I'm probably gonna buy something else in the spring. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a 24-inch, and so that way I can fit it in my van. So this is a little bit too high. I could get my Ecotric in the van, no problem. I had to kind of bend it down a little bit, but this bike is just way too tall. I can't get in there, so I haven't went anywhere with it. I've rode 17,000 miles, and any place I went with it, I rode there. The farthest I went was, I think, 120 or something like that. Thanks for riding with me today. This thing's got over 17,000 miles, and so will I make it to 20? Stay tuned. Alrighty, goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you.
Goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you, liking to you, liking to you, liking to you, liking to you.